What's up, guys? I hope you've all had a fantastic weekend. A lot has been happening in the last few days, and I'm going to catch you up to speed with all that has occurred. If we look at CoinMarketCap.com, we can see that the price of XRP today sits at $1.11, and we are slightly into the green zone today. The price has gone up by 1.32% over the last 24 hours. We can only hope that the price of XRP is trying to gain momentum again. As always, we welcome you back to MoneySide, your favorite crypto news channel. If you are new here, welcome to the XRP family. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you don't miss out on our daily crypto updates. Today we have a lot of explosive news we need to cover in this video. Now, to rev the engines, we have this tweet from FL Gator Trader that says, Coinbase now has an instant transfer option to my bank account. Settles real time. Powered by XRP? Methinks so. From what I have gathered from the crypto community, most people have been noticing that more financial apps are withdrawing and depositing dollars way quicker. It makes me think about that private ledger Ripple was piloting. Next, we have another tweet. This is from Big Champ the Boss that says, XRP is back on Coinbase Pro. The king returns. Well, this is quite interesting to see. And as we can see on that image attached to the tweet, there are new listings on Coinbase Pro. We have a couple of XRP pairs, XRP Bitcoin, XRP USD, XRP GBP, and XRP Euro. The weird part is that Coinbase later tweeted saying that this was just a teaser. Later on, many people noticed that it was deactivated. I still don't get how this could be a glitch. It must be very coincidental that it had to be XRP pairs. I think this is a teaser of what's about to happen in the coming days. So many people have been requesting Coinbase to relist XRP over the last couple of months, but I keep wondering, is there a point in all this? Should they or not? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Here we have this tweet from James Rule XRP that says, SEC opposes Ripple XRP request relating to controversial Howey test. If we go further into that article, posted on CryptoSlate.com, we can see that in its recent filing, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission opposed the request made by Ripple and its co-founder, Chris Larsen, to answer interrogatories regarding the agency's application of the Howey test for determining the status of XRP. The SEC recently opposed Ripple's request to disclose employees' crypto holdings to produce documentation regarding its trading pre-clearance decisions. SEC's arguments for denying further clarification say, defendants waited until the end of fact discovery, more than 7 weeks after receiving the SEC's first interrogatory responses, to inform the SEC they considered the responses deficient, complained the agency, while opposing the request to provide further clarification. Defendants' argument here boils down to a complaint that they do not like the answers they received to the interrogatories at issue, in a large part because the SEC's and defendants' interpretation of the applicable law differs, added the regulator. In a December 8th letter to U.S. Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn, the regulator explained that it had appropriately responded to Ripple's questions, adding that the SEC is not required to answer the interrogatories in a way that adopts the defendant's incorrect reading of the law. Next up, we've got an exciting tweet from XRP Crypto Wolf, which says, SEC officially admits its failure to inform Ripple that XRP is security. Further in that tweet, he shared an article posted on CoinGape.com, which says the latest update in the XRP lawsuit could be grounds for the final verdict. Ripple's first request for admissions, number 99, to the SEC, which was attached to the recent court filing, unveiled the most crucial information for the lawsuit to date. The document confirms that the SEC never informed any third parties that XRP was a security until the lawsuit was filed. This information is now an official admission in the case. New facts have refuted Hinman's testimony, thus no seal can protect him. The SEC's admission contradicts Hinman's deposition, in which he stated that he recommended Ripple to stop selling XRP because the sales were considered securities by the SEC. Hinman was already on the verge of falling off the cliff due to allegations of corruption in the context of his 2018 address. Hinman may lose more than the SEC in the end as a result of this latest revelation. The rumors spread quickly, with some claiming that the locked data contained evidence against Hinman for planning and scheming the price increase. It further adds that Hinman reportedly conferred with eminent Ethereum Foundation leaders and private market participants to invest in Ethereum before the speech generously. Next, we've got another tweet. This is from XRP Crypto Wolf, which says, "Good morning to everyone, including the SEC, for finally admitting they failed to inform Ripple that they think XRP is a security." In this following tweet, we will look at some explosive news from Landbins, where he shares a link to research on the Bank of England website. We can all see that the documents shared there say, "FinTech Accelerator Proof of Concept, Ripple exploring the synchronized settlement of payments using the Interledger protocol." The Bank of England's FinTech Accelerator works with innovative firms and new technologies. In this proof of concept POC, we wanted to explore the synchronized movement of two different currencies in two different simulated real-time gross settlement systems using the Interledger protocol. The bank has also recently started a program of work to replace the UK's real-time gross settlement RTGS service. RTGS is where financial institutions hold their sterling bank accounts. Like any account holder, these institutions can store balances, reserves in these accounts, or use them to make payments. The Bank of England has been operating real-time gross settlements since 1996 to provide a safe and immediate way for banks to exchange payments. Since 2006, it has been paying interest on reserves held in RTGS to support the implementation of monetary policy as set by the Monetary Policy Committee. The vision for the renewed service is set out in the RTGS Blueprint document published in May 2017. In that vision, the bank explained that it planned to introduce new functionality to support the synchronization of cash movements made in RTGS with the movement of cash and assets held in other systems in the next generation of RTGS. More detailed analysis of the benefits and costs of the different technical options was, however, required. This POC formed part of that analytical process. It should be noted that the bank's POC process is completely segregated from core systems, does not use any core system code, and uses a simulated RTGS system to explore the features we're interested in. The proof of concept focused on a high-value cross-border payment scenario in which transactions in two different currencies are excluded simultaneously in two different simulated RTGS systems that could represent two different countries. If we get all this together, what do you think is the end game? Well, we can only anticipate for the XRP price to shoot through the roof. Basically, right now, we don't have any other coin that's doing what XRP is doing. Before we wind up on today's video, we've got this tweet from Ripple XRP that says, "Boom! CBDCs will take years to be rolled out, while stablecoins and crypto assets are already here. This makes it even more urgent to start. XRP is going to be used as a settlement tool by banks before the launch of CBDCs." If we look at that article posted on payments.com, we can see that according to Reuters, Benoît Cœuré, a former European Central Bank official, made the remarks on Friday, September 10th, warning that central banks are at risk of falling behind initiatives like the one undertaken by Facebook and its stablecoin. "The time has passed for central banks to get going," said Cœuré, addressing the European Financial Forum. "We should roll up our sleeves and accelerate our work on the nitty-gritty of CBDC, central bank digital currency design. CBDCs will take years to be rolled out, while stablecoins and crypto assets are already here. This makes it even more urgent to start." A number of central banks in Europe and the US and the UK have considered setting up a digital currency. And as reported in this space last month, India is developing the framework for digital currency and is looking to launch a trial for a digital rupee in December. Time now for one more tweet. This one is from Crypto Whale, which says, "No utility equals no future." With over 20,000 coins on the market, nearly all of them say they have some groundbreaking solution to a non-existent issue. Only invest in cryptocurrencies that people actually use, as they will survive in the long run. Remember, when it comes to these cryptocurrencies, utility is a crucial factor. And at this point, we are guaranteed the survival of XRP, as it's definitely going to become the king of all cryptos. XRP is literally the phoenix that's going to rise from the ashes. All right, now, time to take a look at the price action of XRP. XRP is drawing a symmetrical wedge, which is normally a continuation pattern. And XRP USD is going through a phase of Wyckoff reaccumulation, in my opinion. I will not take the trade until I find myself seeing a confirmation in the SOS, the sign of strength, that would lead prices above the red trading range. XRP looks as though it has just finished with a long cycle back to its former all-time high. Pretty impulsive moves, but will usually fall into a sort of channel or wedge. All I know is it looks bullish but steady. If the uptrend is continuous, the next major targets can be around $2.65 as the resistance of the main cup, $3.90 as possible 3.618 circle resistance. Immediate targets are also shown as Fibonacci levels. If that's the case, I would take my entry on the breach and retest the range itself. Please keep in mind, we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. Please tell us what you think in the comments section below, and let's have a conversation. Thank you as always for watching. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like this video and to click on that subscribe button below. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. Thanks again. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.